Welcome into the 49ers Report. Coming your way on today's show is star offensive tackle Trent Williams giving away and tipping plays to opposing defenses. This is a subject matter that is taken off on social media, so we have to talk about these major 49ers rumors. And I'm going to bring in some of my good friends and give you the best expertise that any 49ers YouTube channel has to offer. On today's show, you will hear from former NFL offensive lineman Matt McChesney. You'll also hear from a current 49ers offensive lineman. We're going to keep his name anonymous because I don't want to start any drama inside that locker room. I also reached out to a friend who plays offensive line for an SEC power and will be drafted in the 2023 NFL Draft. And we're also going to bring on former Netflix star, former head coach of Independence Community College, head coach Jason Brown. First, though, just want to thank everybody for your continued support right here on the 49ers Report. Yesterday, we were able to surpass 67,000 subscribers. I'm smelling 70K right around the corner. So if you want videos every single day and the best coverage of your San Francisco 49ers, lock us in and hit that subscribe button for entertaining and informative analysis year-round. All right, so all of this really started when Jesse, a 49ers content creator who I think does a good job, we follow each other on Twitter. I don't have any issues with Jesse. So let me preface all of this by saying that. But he tweeted this out the other day saying, Trent Williams is still tipping plays. I just ran through the all 22 against the Los Angeles Chargers and accurately predicted nearly every run play and every pass play based on his left foot placement pre-snap. Now you take a look at photo number 1 here. You'll see Trent Williams, and I need you to take an eye and put an eye on his feet and the position of it. This is a run play here. So this is his running set. Then we're going to go to photo number 2, and you'll see that the foot placement changes. That left foot is back a little bit. Does this matter? Does this impact other offensive linemen? And does it give the opposing defense an edge? That is really what we want to explore on today's show. And then let's stack these plays together so that you see that his stance and his pass blocking and run blocking mechanics are differentiated, and you can point out the obvious change from run play to pass play. Obviously, the easy thought from people out there, if they just look at his feet and they look at his mechanics, he's telling the defense which play is coming because all the defense has to do, they look at his feet, and based on how they look, a run play is going to come or a pass play is going to come. But the offensive lineman consensus from everybody that I've reached out to, and we're talking about experts here, and you can take a look at Twitter to see what some offensive lineman gurus are saying on Twitter as well, is that this doesn't really matter. But why doesn't it matter? Because it's easy to say, yes, it does matter. But we've reached out to some experts, and they have all said it's really not a big deal. We'll get to why around the corner. First, though, I want to hear from you. Faithful, show up, show out in the comment section. Do you think that this is a big deal? Let me know by typing a Y for yes or an N for no. The 49ers offensive lineman who I reached out to said this, quote, "It doesn't matter. You could think you have certain tips based off a stance, and the play could be totally opposite of what you thought. I just look at it as defensive players gambling on what's to come. And if they are wrong, it can be very detrimental. You may get lucky a few times, but more times than not, you don't really know. Sometimes stances are for balancing force and fixing angle departure." That last line comes down to the really nuanced aspect of the mechanics of an offensive lineman who plays with Trent Williams. And let's add that Williams is one of the best left tackles that the game of football has ever seen, and that's a big reason why he's made it to 9 Pro Bowls, and he is going to be a shoo-in as a future Hall of Famer. I also reached out to one of my good buddies who plays offensive line for an SEC power, and this is what he had to say about all of this drama. It's pretty common. Photo 2 honestly might be an obvious passing down too, like let's say you're 3rd and 12, that kind of deal, where the entire entire stadium knows you're going to throw the ball, so you can kind of get comfortable in that stance. Also, with a guy like Trent Williams, it doesn't matter whether or not you know. You still won't beat him, but I would say you try your best to keep it consistent. So we did say that, yeah, it's probably best to keep it consistent, unlike Trent Williams, but he's so good it doesn't really matter. And then he added, but within a game, those things do change up over the course of the game, and everyone knows what's going to happen anyways. Coming up next on the show, I'm actually going to bring on Matt McChesney as well as Jason Brown, because I was on Jason Brown's YouTube show earlier today, and I go on his show every single Wednesday. So if you want some real football talk, unfiltered football talk outside of what I bring you here on the 49ers Report, I do join former head coach of Independence Community College, Jason Brown, who's put a lot of players into the NFL. He was made famous for being on that Netflix series, Last Chance U. I go on every single Wednesday for Work Boot Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on the Coach JB Show. Make sure you check him out and subscribe, because I'm a weekly guest on his program. Let's take a look at some Week 11 odds before we hear from Coach JB and Matt McChesney. San Francisco, 9.5-point favorites against the Arizona Cardinals. 43.5 is the current over-under, and it looks as though Kyler Murray not going to play. According to some rumors out there, some reports, Cliff Kingsbury, it doesn't look as though he's going to be able to play. So in Mexico City, it's going to be the Colt McCoy show once again. And for San Francisco, you're thinking that'll be an easy win. It wasn't last year at Levi's Stadium when he actually played very well and beat San Francisco. If you want to bet on the game, chatsports.com/49bet, promo code Niners125. And what's fascinating about this game, and this is something that we've continued to talk about, the Vivid Seats projection. Even though it's going to be a road game for San Francisco, because of their large Hispanic following and a lot of people in Mexico City who are Niner fans and traveling to that game to support the San Francisco 49ers, Vivid Seats is projecting that Niner fans will occupy 82% of that stadium, which holds nearly 90,000 people. A reminder to join our Monday Night Football watch party. We are going to celebrate the large and massive 49ers Hispanic following. And yesterday during our live show, we reached a certain number in Super Chat. So I actually bought this 49ers Nacho Libre mask. I'm going to be rocking it during parts of the watch party. Appreciate everybody who sent in a donation. One more reminder, if you want to bet on this game, I think San Francisco is going to put together a third consecutive win. Do so with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head to chatsports.com/49bet, promo code Niners125 for that 125% deposit bonus. And right now, let's get more expert takes on this whole Trent Williams situation from Coach Jason Brown and Matt McChesney.
So, Chase, explain to everybody what you sent me on Twitter.
Yeah, so there's a clip going around and still images going around about Trent Williams tipping what the offense is going to run, because he has a different stance in his pass set as compared to his run set. Now, this is taken off on social media, and a lot of former players are saying it's no big deal. But in every single play in that game, when it was a pass, he had one stance. When it was a run play, he had another stance. So the thought is that it's a very baseball type of similarity and comparison here. When pitchers change up their mechanics when they're going to throw a fastball or an off-speed pitch, then hitters are able to sit back and anticipate what's coming. 95-mile-per-hour fastball or some 75-mile-per-hour off-speed. Bryce Harper just tipped this off against the Houston Astros in Game 3 of the World Series. I think it's different with football, and that's what I asked you about, and I've reached out to other offensive linemen, both in the SEC and on the 49ers, and I'm waiting to hear their responses. But from a former offensive lineman who played in the NFL, if Trent Williams has a different set for a pass and a run, is that indeed tipping off the defense, or is there just so much to think about pre-snap, guys don't even have an opportunity to do that? And then the other thought was that it hurts his offensive lineman teammates. I don't think it's a huge deal, though.
All right, so first of all, everybody, and I mean fucking every player, has a different stance on third down than first and second down. So my unless I'm the center, if I'm the right guard, right tackle, left tackle, my hand's on the ground in first down. And one thing nobody's really talking about is the alignment of the scissor player behind him. If you can see the tight ends right behind him on that first down play or whatever it was, that's most likely a run. The tight end's going to flash backside. And he's going to reach block the 5 technique, or they're going to combo Trey up. On third down, when he puts his foot back, his hands off the ground, obviously, and it's they already know it's a passing down. Like anything, 2nd and 7, passing down. 3rd and 4, passing down. Like a lot of first down calls are passing downs these days. This is, in my opinion, this is a overreach of some guy in his mother's basement with Cheeto residue all over his fingers, banging away on a fucking computer, like over-analyzing some shit on literally the best left tackle that I've seen play since Walter Jones.
Wow.
So this like conundrum that they're putting themselves in, saying that Trent Williams is somehow hurting his teammates. Last year in the playoffs, when they put another tackle in and they lined Trent Williams up at tight end and they ran scissor backside and annihilated the linebacker.
The lead
you think that
fullback
was a fucking giveaway that they were running the ball? Maybe. How'd it go for Green Bay? Bad. So, in my opinion, I don't give a shit if you know what we're doing, and neither does Trent. I don't care if you know what we're doing. We're gonna fucking do it better than you and beat you. And
Hey, Matt, what people are talking about, though, please explain to them, like, I could be in a pass set and also we run draw.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I can be in a pass set and up, and then we run draw or trap. I don't have to have my hand on the ground to run the fucking ball. So, look, I guess this is the beauty and the curse of everyone having a fucking portal in their pocket and they can post whatever they want. And people are like, oh, yeah, it's a giveaway. And other people are like, it doesn't mean shit. I'm sure it's somewhere in the middle. Yeah. But as a player, is there ever a fucking time when I didn't just read the formation and like the normal standard things of football to tell me where the play's going? No. I don't go up and I'm like, oh, his left finger is closer to the ground than his middle finger's closer to the ground than his pinky. Well, that's because his middle finger's longer. Or like the old like the white of his knuckles. If his knuckles are white, he's coming after you. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. So I think that there may be something here. Like if he wants to go chart every Trent Williams play and his left leg's back and it's a pass, well, how many of those plays are 3rd and 5+? Of course it's a fucking pass.
Yeah. Couple things that you hit on too that I just want to talk about real quick. Like when it's a pass set, you can be upright. If it's a run play, then your hand's going to be on the ground. So of course your stance is going to be different.
It completely depends on the situation.
Of course. And then if you look at a guy like Lane Johnson, Matt, he kind of specialized with that kick out. So if it's going to be a pass play on a 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, like he's going to kick out to get ahead of the opposing defensive lineman. If it's a run play, of course, his stance is going to be different because he has to have a different power base, right? To get upfield.
No, I think the base, I can look as an offensive lineman, I can run block you to death out of my standing pass set just as well as I can with my hand on the ground.
Okay.
It's the formation. So if Trent Williams is in a 12 personnel look and they've got 12 personnel tight end heavy left, and it's Trent, Kittle, and then the other backer right behind him. He can't be in a stand-up fucking elongated pass rush stance. They're probably tray blocking somebody, which is tackle tight end block, on a double team wherever the linebacker's at, who we're climbing to, right? We could be traying quick out. We could be traying back heavy. We could be scissor traying where the heavy tight end flashes all the way back and we gang call everything. So I think a lot of it has to do with the formation you're in and the scheme behind it, rather than just the the situation that the individual player is in. A lot of this too, the Eagles slide away from Lane Johnson, the right tackle, constantly because they know how good he is. Right. So he has an over exaggerated, elongated stance, knowing that all he has to do is block the guy out here, the defensive end. Trent Williams on the other side, San Francisco does the same thing. They slide away from Trent a lot. They know he's elite. They know that McGlinchey needs the help. So they slide away from him all the time, which allows him to have more of an elongated stance because he's playing against the best pass rusher out there all the time. The other 4 offensive linemen are looking for the +1 and having to play off games. Usually those isolated tackles in situations like this are blocking one-on-ones with 4 turn slides away from them. So it's like the fact that the dude brought it up allows people to talk about it. But I'll be real honest when I say this. I'm not saying that you have to go play the position to know what you're talking about. There's a lot of people that are educated. But from an experience standpoint,
fuck that.
From an experience standpoint, if you didn't do it, it's going to be really hard for me, especially on the line. It's going to be really hard for me to take anything you say seriously if this guy's trying to sit there and break down like the fucking load points on his feet and his hand placement and shit. And I'm like, dog, come on. But you're getting real technical with shit you don't know what you're talking about. And I went back and like read the text string on this, and the guy that posted it, I don't know who he is, but he agrees with everybody. If you disagree with him, he agrees with you. And if you agree with him, he agrees with you. And that is, in my opinion, that's the kind of guy that I can't listen to because his opinion doesn't mean shit because he doesn't have one.